Welcome to the Business Resilience Decoded podcast, brought to you by Asfalis Advisors and the Disaster Recovery Journal. Crisis management in today's world is ever-changing, and this podcast is our commitment to help you navigate successful outcomes for any crisis you may face. I'm your host, Vanessa Matthews. I specialize in providing insights and solutions for crisis, continuity, and resilience across industries from real estate and healthcare to terrorism in the airline and transportation worlds. No matter what industry you're in, this podcast will provide you the tools to build resilience in your organization. Welcome to the podcast. Today's episode is titled 13 Reasons You Need to Hire an External Crisis Management Firm. And today will be a solo episode with me. Our audience is a mix of internal risk management professionals and independent crisis management professionals across the risk, resilience, safety, security, and IT landscapes. In this episode, we're going to share how to know when it's time to bring in an external crisis management firm to supplement your internal team. We'll speak to different use cases before, during, and after a crisis. Although your team might be prepared for the most obvious catastrophes, from natural disasters to data breaches and supply chain disruptions, there are more risks to assess beyond these. So, number one, what's the first reason? If you're experiencing a mass exodus of employees, the question is, does your organization have a plan if there's a sudden high turnover of your team members? An external crisis management organization can help you realistically plan for and recover from this. Number two, a public relations disaster. While your gut instinct might be for you to hire a public relations firm to clean up your brand and image, you also need a plan for your operations that may fall out, that can occur from a drop in sales, a loss of your key vendors, or employee dissatisfaction with the company. Reason number three, diversity, equity, and inclusion shortcomings. Increasingly, companies are being held accountable for their lack of DE&I in their organizations, and rightfully so. Not only from a values perspective, but from the risks associated with not having diverse perspectives in leadership to truly understand the increasingly diverse and socially cautious consumer base. Reason number four, your internal team is overloaded. If a crisis arises, you might not have the resources to execute the elements of your crisis management program. Reason number five, your team might need a refresher on the latest and greatest in emergency management, resilience, whatever your profession might be. What worked 10 years ago will not work today. And as most of you guys know, I come from a background in athletics. Championship teams do not run the same plays. When they get to the championship game, they have to change what their plays are, and your crisis management program is no different. Reason number six, when you decide you want a consistent approach for how you manage risks and threats, an external team will help you streamline and simplify your program and your plan. Fusion Risk Management is your North Star for operational resilience. The Fusion Framework system provides a foundation that enables you to understand how your business works, how it breaks, and how to put it back together again, which allows you to make data-driven decisions so you can anticipate, prepare, respond, and learn through business disruptions and major crisis events. Head to the link in our show notes to request a demo today. Fusion Risk Management, building a more resilient world together. Reason number seven, before crisis events happens is an awesome time to bring in your crisis management team. You want to build a relationship with the team before something happens so you're fully supported throughout that entire event, and you have trust, which is the most important component. Reason number eight, when your employee base grows to about 50 to 100 people at a minimum, and people start creating a crisis within your organization, you want to bring in a crisis management firm. Employee growth to this size requires strong infrastructure to manage your teams. Reason number nine, the realization of underdeveloped or non-existent crisis plans, policies, and practices shows that you're not prepared. Reason number 10, upon completion of your enterprise risk management framework, as you evaluate your top risks, you want a crisis management person or team to help support your controls, to help you manage your emerging risks and threats. Reason number 11, when you have dependencies in key processes and suppliers, this screams risk. And this is a key way for you to know you need to bring in a crisis management firm. Reason number 12, when your risk and resilience programs are disjointed and fragmented, you might have pockets of resilience across the organization, but everything needs to be comprehensive and connected, and your team can help you with that. And lastly, reason number 13, if your organization has completed a merger and acquisition and your risk environment has changed, new cultures, new leadership, and new processes require you to rework your crisis management programs and plans for the future. And you want to bring in that partner before that M&A happens so you can help them navigate that. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast. Thank you for listening to the Business Resilience Decoded podcast, brought to you by Asfalis Advisors and Disaster Recovery Journal. Make sure you check out the show notes for this episode to see all the upcoming events, programs, and ways we can support you. Make sure you subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, leave us a review, and share it with a friend. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.